8 and live.
Hello, it's Deanne Munoz, and welcome back to Sacred Soul Talk, where we talk everything that feeds, nourishes, and turns your soul on. Okay, guys, we are on episode 8 already. Wow. Okay, we're going great. If you missed last week, we talked about daddy issues. I forgot to finish last week's with saying, hello, ladies, men. If you are seeking to heal the father wound, I am available for coaching. You can DM me or you can go to unleashyoursexy.com and let's heal, let's grow and glow. Grow and glow. Hey, I'm kind of like a lyricist. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about, you know what? First, we're going to ground and we are going to say a prayer. I like to start all of my podcasts with a prayer so that we can set an intention for the podcast, knowing that God's going to come through and speak and use me as an instrument towards the topic so that what you hear is exactly what you need to hear. And remember, if you're watching this, there is zero coincidence that you are here watching it. If you were drawn by the title you see here on my YouTube, if you follow me on social media and the topic came up, you are here for a very, very divine reason. It is perfectly divinely orchestrated for you to be viewing this today. So take what resonates and then leave what doesn't. Take and receive what resonates and leave what doesn't. In life, too often people kind of judge, or if one thing's off, they're like, well, that's not for me. Let's start having a new attitude, a new outlook, a new way to view things. Every time you see anything in life, a person, place, event, or circumstance, whether it's negative or positive, but let's kind of go on the negative when you kind of want to judge or you don't want to receive the medicine from it. Find what resonates with you. Find the medicine from it and pull that and ask yourself, how can I apply this to my life? You're going to thank me when you start operating from this mindset. Anything that irritates you or bothers you or irks you, take the medicine from it. Everything and anything has a purpose. If it triggers you, it's medicine. If it inspires you, it's medicine. Both are perfect for your soul. Okay, so we are going to start with my Tibetan symbols. I'm obsessed with these, and every time I see them, it reminds me of like Egypt and ancient times, like these ancient past lifetimes that I've embodied and been reincarnated over and over again, and I've walked them all. And it's like this, when you're watching some kind of sci-fi music, especially like Raiders Ark or The Mummy, and it has to do with like finding artifacts, and they like get this little crystal and they put it in this little groove, and then all of a sudden like this little maze lights up with lights. That's how I feel happens to my soul. Like there's these ancient memories that are like being downloaded constantly. And I think when I see these, I don't know if you guys can see them. They have like these little designs and emblems that I see like light going every time I clean them. Cling, ting, ting, clinkum, clinkum, tinkum, bangum, clinkum. Okay, so here we go. So these are meant to set an intention to clear my energy right here at the moment, which is also going to filter through the web onto your phone, onto your computer right now, so that you too can receive the cleansing of anything negative, anything heavy from the day. May we get out of ego and pride, and may we operate from heart and soul as a servant for the highest of the highest. God, if you don't believe in God, the divine source, love, whatever you call your higher power. And here we go. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. Breathe out. Release, release, release. Let out anything heavy, anything that's stuck in your heart, in your soul, any stiffness in your body. Let it go. Move your body. Take another deep breath in. Out through the mouth. Drop into your heart. Drop into your intuition. Drop into a deeper peace, a tranquility. Take a deep breath in again. Hold it. Deep breath out. Dear Heavenly Father, dear ancestors, dear loved ones who have passed, dear archangels who protect us, dear spirit team, dear spirit animal. We also call in our future self 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and 30 years from now. Right now, we engulf this whole space, including the beautiful soul that is watching us right now, in this beautiful white light. May it be a shield, an armor, a shield of armor of your protection, of your love, over our calling, over our gifts, over our geniusness, over our magic. From evil eyes, from attacks, from demons, from harm, from witchcraft, from bad luck, from evil eye. We rebuke it and we bind it. We remove any evil eye that is upon the collective right now, this beautiful soul that's watching us right now. I want you to know that you are divinely, divinely protected. Your spirit team, your ancestors know that you are brought here by God Himself for His army to touch, move, and inspire the world to a greater awakening. In pursuit of that, God has promised to keep you especially guarded from all harm, demon attacks, evil eye, ancestral curses passed down throughout our lineages that are here in this lifetime for us to overcome, for us to be the generational ones in our family who breaks these generational curses, that we are the game-changing person in our family. You are divinely protected. God has His hand on your life, on your goals, on your dreams, and anybody and anything that ever tries to come against you, we rebuke it. We send it back to sender. We send it back to sender 100 motherfucking folds. We have a shield, a mirror, a light that is around us at this moment, and everything and anything that's ever been done to you, God has promised to return that 100 folds to everybody and anything that has ever harmed you and through your entire lifetime. Their karma has either already come, either here, or it's coming. God promises his vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So don't you seek vengeance. Do not seek vengeance. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. He has given me this vision that what he's going to pay back to those who've been trying to harm you your entire life. Some of you were assigned demons the day you were born from the darkness to throw you off your path. You are not supposed to be alive right now, but God had his hand on your life. God knew you were the chosen one. That's why he gave you his toughest battles, because you are the light, the chosen one, the anointed one sent here to make waves in the world, to lead, to be a worldwide leader. His hand is heavy upon you in protection. I see it so clear. And I don't know who that's for, but vengeance is mine. You will be able in this lifetime to watch those who have harmed you receive their karma. Receive their motherfucking karma. We're going to clear the space of any last negativity that might be in your body, your mind, your heart, your soul. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. What cartoon is that from? Let it go. Let it go. Is that from Awana? Oh. Moana. Oh, it's Frozen? Let it go. Let it go. So I don't know. Maybe the fact that I've never in my life thought about Frozen. So this message is for somebody who's maybe kid watches Frozen, or if you see any of the characters from the movie Frozen, this message is for you. That was a very specific vision I got right now when I heard. So what as prophetic seers, we hear music, we hear movie lines, we see movies, colors, numbers, cartoons, the most random things. And my job is simply to relay over to you what I'm seeing. And only you're going to know if that was for you or what it's regarding. So definitely the movie Frozen, or if you see anything from this moment on, Frozen, the cartoon from Disney, then this was for you. Okay. How are we feeling, my loves? Oh, okay. Let me finish the prayer. Oh, okay. We are grateful and thankful to be able to be present together as a soul tribe in unity, in surrender, listening to what magic and medicine may come our way in the next 60 minutes. I personally ask you, Lord, Heavenly Father, Holy Ghost, the divine source, love, my future self, and the collective's future selves. So this is as a channeler. I'm also a medium. So my entire life, people who have passed over love to come speak to me and have me relay messages to their loved ones. So I'm going to call in your loved ones who are of the highest light and love beings. May I be an instrument in your hand in the next 60 minutes to relay any message that the collective, these beautiful souls, need to hear. I also call in your future selves 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, that they may come to me to give you, to whisper into your heart, into your soul, your next move. because your future self 10 years from now, from the future, is whispering to you today what your next move is. So if you've been getting signs, coincidences, hearing songs, sign, like actual physical signs saying yes, no, go home, go straight. Numbers. You're getting these feelings that you just can't get rid of. I'm being told that's your future self who keeps trying to like knock you on the head like, hello, hello, do. I'm speaking to you. So they're kind of like, they're actually kind of funny. Like I'm getting like they're being silly. So if there's silly things that kind of happen and you find yourself laughing at yourself and no one's in the room, that's actually your future self making you laugh. So I don't know if you're a comedian or if you're a really funny person or you like to play jokes on people. If you're a person who likes to play jokes on people, I'm seeing that your future self likes to fuck with you sometimes. So if you kind of look around and you're like, what the fuck? And you're laughing about something silly that kind of happened. Maybe you tripped and fell on your face or I don't know, something funny. I kind of feel like your future self had to do with that. So these are all just messages I'm getting. I'm only going to relay everything I see, everything I hear. I don't know what it means. I'm relaying it. Only you're going to know because it's your messages from your own future self, from your loved ones, from your spirit team. All right. I remove me from this situation, Lord, that I may touch, move, and inspire. May I be a servant in the most precious, loving, supportive way possible. Okay, guys. The subject is divorce. I just started doing these solo podcasts because I've been getting so many downloads. Now, in our world, as healers, as readers, when we say downloads, it's a message from spirit. Like we got a message, a vision or something. And they're downloads. So it's like the Matrix, like they're coming in fast, like, and I kind of see things and I just tell you what I'm seeing or what I'm feeling. And this morning, oh my God, I had so much come into me. Like literally, when I woke up, it was like, there was so much I wanted to speak about. And on Instagram, the stories, I think you can have like 35 stories at a time. And I kind of feel like if I go on a 5-minute rant on stories, like people start, I don't know, I don't even want to hear myself for 5 minutes. So I was like, okay, I need to do a podcast. Tell my brother, we're going to do a podcast today. This came in heavy. I have something to say about this. Excuse me. And when you burp, is energy moving? Mm-hmm. So anytime you cough, burp, laugh hysterically, or giggle, energy is always moving, and sound causes energy to move. So this morning I woke up because I was realizing I'm like, we're in 2023. I got divorced in 2013. All I know is I'm 46. No, 47. Oh shit. No, last year was year 20. Holy Lord. Okay. So I'm 21 years divorced. Okay. Wow. So this morning I was thinking, I thought it was 20 years, but we're going to go with that. So I'd realize, holy shit, like I'm 20 years divorced. Like 20 years. Like when I look in the mirror, like I don't think, oh my God, I'm almost 50 years old. I still like find myself like that 20-year-old, like my heart, my soul, my thoughts, like the way I live my life is so vivacious and full of life and playful and light. I'm like, how can I be older than like in my 20s? Because I'm not like this serious grown up where I'm on like grown up time. I'm always a child. I'm always childish. And I was literally thinking, damn, like 20 years is a substantial amount of time. Like, okay, 20 years. And I want to say I've learned so much. in those 20 years. Because in your 20s, you're learning about life. You're experiencing the, I want to say, this is my view of it. In your 20s is where you're testing everything out. You're trying everything. Because in high school, you don't really know much. Not until you become an adult and you leave the house, right? 18, 19, some people, 21, some people 25. When you leave your parents' house, it's kind of when like adulthood begins. And you get to learn how, like you got to start growing tools in your toolbox. And I'm 47, so the things I know now, I wish I would have known in my 20s. And I wish I would have, like no one in my 20s has said, oh, go get a life coach or go get a coach. There's just, these are things you're not taught. I mean, I wasn't taught. I wasn't in a family that we were taught this. So I wanted to give some gems, some jewels that I'm hoping will help to, that will bring a breath of fresh air, even a little bit of faith to your broken heart. If you are going through a divorce, been through a divorce, and you haven't done the healing. Because my story all takes place, my adult trauma all takes place from my broken marriage. My abusive marriage. The day I realized that my dream of being married and having a family was ended. Like it came to an end one day. And that is what broke my heart. I had a vision and a dream that I'm going to get married one day. And that in my marriage, like, somebody's calling? Okay. That, see? That was probably my ex-husband calling to spread his bad juju over here. And you guys, I can talk all the shit I want about him. Him and I are besties today. We're really good friends. So me and him are always busting each other's balls all the time. And then I'm also going to go into that. How to become friends with your ex-husband especially. Okay, so let me go into my story first. And this is pretty crazy because I'm going to say something that I've never, ever said or told anybody. Interesting, like my body closed up. I always notice people's body language. And obviously, like I got uncomfortable. And again, like last week, I chose daddy issues. And this week, I'm going to discuss divorce. And I love to discuss anything that's uncomfortable. I love to grow. Like I want to sit in the fucking pain, feel it, transmute it, release it, and then alchemize that into magic, into a lesson, into another tool in my toolbox of life. That's how I explain it. Like in sobriety, we learn tools how to live life on life's terms. And a lot of times as an alcoholic and drug addict, we turn to alcohol and drugs because we don't know how to deal with problems. We don't know how to deal with trauma. We weren't given the tools of communication. We weren't given we weren't given tools on how to feel pain, how to take accountability, see our part, accept it, feel it, move through it, get to the end of it, release it, and then take the the magic from it. So divorce is my story, and divorce plays a really big part in a huge part of my story, because people kind of always ask, like, who are you? What happened? Like, how's it working out? And I met my ex-husband when I was 16. And at 16 years old, I was such a strong, born again Christian. Like, I was on fire for God. Like, I wanted to be what's the people that they travel? Not apostle. I wanted to be a evangelist, right? Is that what it's called? I wanted to be an evangelist since the age of 9 years old. At 9 years old in church, God had told me that I was going to be an evangelist. And after that, I believed it. And from that moment on, I had nothing but visions and understandings and this like soul like tugging like to do this. So I was heavily involved in church. So I went to Bible studies. I actually had a Bible study at my house as a teenager, where young girls would come and I would help like mentor them and coach them. And, we'd read from the Bible and all this great stuff. I used to go to church on Sundays. I always used to go to like youth group. I loved that stuff. I really did. Like, I loved everything to do with God and healing. Met my ex-husband at the time, who had just got out of a 4-year juvenile hall stint. So what also is a huge part of my story is I attract men who everyone I've ever dated has served long periods in juvenile hall, prisons. Yeah. So we'll go into, there's so much. I'm like, okay. I know, Okay, so I'm trying to keep this all like without going crazy. So my ex-husband, he doesn't say it anymore because I am that person today. But I want to say, at 26 years old, I got divorced. I don't know. I want to say there was like a good 10, 15 years of my life, like even throughout our marriage, like halfway through our marriage, it got really bad. It got really nasty. And we both became extremely, extremely, extremely toxic. Everything and anything you could do to fuck someone over, him and I did it to the 100th power toward each other. Like, our breakup wasn't just like breakup and like, I'm going to go heal. It was who can hurt each other worst during the breakup. So I met him at 16. And mind you, I never cursed ever, never drank. I come from a alcoholic, abusive home that I promised myself I never wanted to be like my dad. So I'm never going to fucking drink ever. I'm never going to be like him. I'm not going to do drugs. I was a virgin. Like, I was like this little like holy roly like angel of God. And one thing I did truly believe in is I truly, truly in my heart believe like I'm not going to have sex till I'm married. Like, I was so committed to that. Like, my whole entire high school year, my oath to myself and to God was, I am not going to have sex till I'm married. And I meet him, and I think we were together for almost a year, 16 to 17. And I would not give up the pussy. Like, I refused. Like, I truly, in my heart, believe and didn't have a problem saying no, because I truly said, I'm not going to do this until I'm married. Like, I made this vow. So I was such a good girl. Like, I was such a girl, like a good girl of God, and I used to always preach at him, not preach, but I was always like speaking life to him and speaking, life over the, things that were going on in his life. Like, I was his like little shining bright light that was safe and like pure. And, I was everything that, he wasn't. And I don't know if that's like opposite attracts or something, but what definitely happens is me as a healer, as a light worker, is I'm going to attract the opposite, the broken, those who have been brokenhearted, the darkness, people with anger issues, people with, that have healings. And another really big thing, I'm a huge magnet for men that have mom issues because I'm super mothering. I'm super loving. I'm literally like, I don't know if you guys can see, but my deity that I embody is Mother Teresa, and that's what Mother Teresa was. Interesting or not, because they call me, huh? Oh, I'm sorry, Mother Teresa, Mother Mary. Oh my goodness, I meant Mother Mary. Well, see, Mother Teresa was trying to come in right there and was like, "Give me a shout out." Okay, so Mother Mary, I just resonate with her energy, with her heart and her soul in like so much ways. And it all makes sense today because that's what my calling is a healer. I didn't know this when I was younger. Not until like I got older is like all the pieces are finally fitting. Like, oh, I wanted to save the world. Oh, like I always attract broken men. Oh, I always attract, men that have mother issues. There's this like fire in my heart to like fix them. Like I'm going to love you in a way that like you wish your mother loved you. Like I'm going to be that woman, that femininity that comes in and just literally like I'm going to be everything and anything. And once I love you, like you're going to be so elevated. You're going to believe in love. Like you're never going to feel abandoned. You're never going to know that feeling. And that's literally what my calling is because it's not just toward men though. It's toward the world. And today I get it. I get it. It's a superpower. Because I used to be like, I hate the fact that, like I want to fix men. And it's not even just men. It's that I'm a healer of people, of broken souls. Like that is my job. That is my calling. So of course I'm going to attract men of that caliber. Now at the age I am, it's different because now I'm here to serve the world like that, not just one man. So we get married. I think it's a long story. Okay, let me pretend like we're on my Instagram stories. Okay. I don't know. I was just literally like disconnected. Like this is going to be a long freaking story. Okay, so we're gonna be like skirt. So he used to always tell me like, "Oh my God, I love that you're a virgin." Da 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 da. So he ended up getting my name tattooed like a month after we met. And then I want to say like 6 months, maybe 3 months after we met, he proposed to me. And I still was like, well, we can't have sex until I'm married. So we probably maybe had sex a handful of times till I was like for the next year or two. So I'm going to give you red flags. I'm trying to make this positive, not here to bash him. But I want you to understand what a toxic relationship is. And these are things I did not know or see at the age of 16, nor at the age 21, nor even at the age of 26. Today, I see these red flags. So I'm praying that this will help lead you to identify to stay in the marriage or leave a marriage. My standards, obviously, are way higher today. I never had a boundary ever know the word no. And I had no boundaries when I was in high school. So when he met me, 16, 17, 18, there were no boundaries. I didn't know how to say the word no. I was very impressionable, very, very, very naive. I mean, like naive. naive, impressionable. Oh my God. What did I say right before that? Right before that. Where was I going? Oh my God. I totally lost it, you guys. I got uncomfortable. Okay. I got, okay. Oh, okay. Red flags. Oh,
tips and red
abuse.
flags.
Abuse. This is where I wanted to
Yeah.
go. So I did not know what abuse looked like, what it felt like, or that I was in an abusive relationship. Okay, that's where we're going to. The red flags, you guys. Red motherfucking flags, okay? And I'm going to share something that I've never shared with anyone, and I'm going to open my body for this one. So I'm not closed off. So I'm not like, I get to feel the feelings is... It was a physically abusive relationship. And I remember, you know, I come from an abusive father who used to beat the living, I don't want to cuss, the living hell out of my mom. And I used to witness this. So I've said this so many times. I hate domestic violence. I hate fighting. And we had a few instances where when he would get upset, he would curse at me. And that would trigger me like, whoa. Like you just triggered that 5-year-old little girl who has a lot of anger and a lot of rage. And I will fight you like you're my actual dad. And these incidences happened because I was young. I was 16. I was not allowed to date. The only time he could see me was by going to church or to Bible study. So it's the only time he would see me. Or he would come pick me up for lunch every day at school. I think he was 4 years older than me. So, and he was like the man of the town. Like in San Gabriel Valley, like he was like the hottest, most wanted, like guy, had a BMW. And this is like 25 years ago. Like people didn't have BMWs back then. Like, you know, he made a shitload of money. He had these like incredible green eyes. He was tatted up. He was like ripped, you know, like he worked out. Like literally looked like walked off of the magazine of Vogue. Like I never thought in my life like any man was as beautiful as this human being. And what a narcissist does, I'm sure I've never learned that word either. A narcissist is somebody that love bombs you, like love bombs you. So the fact that I came from a father who never told me he loved me, who was never affectionate, who never spent quality time with me, those were areas of my life that when I met my ex-husband at 16, mind you, I was still living with my dad at the time. My ex-husband was the epitome of romance. Like if you were to look up romantic guy in the dictionary, you would find him. He was affectionate. He was loving. He was just like so needy. Like he wanted to be with me 24 hours a day, every single day. And I never felt desired or loved or seen by a man. So I interpreted the obsession with me, the jealousy and the controlling as he loves me. Oh, this is love. Oh, this is what love is supposed to look like. I didn't know what love was supposed to look like because I never had a man love me the right way. But it was way better than the way my dad was loving me. So my interpretation at 16 years old is this is the one. This is the love of my life. And we did have a soul connection from the minute we met, the minute we both met and we made eye contact. He says the same story today. There was this like ancient whispers in our ears that was like, that's the one. He's the one that got that vision first. It took me a little minute because he was so aggressive the first time I met him. So I thought, oh my God, he must be a player or somebody. And I thought he was so worldly because he used to go to clubs and drink and do drugs. And I was at church and we were complete opposites, like complete opposites in every way possible. So the first red flag is I didn't even know what love was. I had nothing to compare it to. And he wasn't beating my ass every night like my dad did to my mom. So I assumed, right, this must be a great relationship. He loves me to death. So we had our first few incidences where I think he didn't answer his pager or something or his phone for like 24 hours or something. And I know how that goes. Like my dad would disappear for 2-3 day runs and not come home. And so that's an automatic, it's still a trigger. So if you're dating me today, it's still my number one trigger. If I'm dating someone and you don't return my text, it literally triggers every issue that I have 100 folds. There's no reason that you cannot return my text. And if you cannot return my text, especially in 24 hours, I will never speak to you. There's no reason to speak to you. So I think that's initially how it began. And then he'd come back and be like, oh, here I am. And I'm like, no. So he'd have to chase me and come find me at Bible study. So he'd find me at Bible study. He'd kind of make like a big deal and get loud and be like, come here, I'm going to talk to you. And I'd be like, no. And then we're in the middle of Bible study. And mind you, at the time, I had no voice. I never spoke up. I was very humble. I was very meek. And I was very quiet. And I was very, very, very submissive. So the minute he was to even be like, like raise his voice, like it would trigger me. And I'd be like, okay, like I'm coming outside. Like I don't want to make a big scene. And then we'd come outside and then he'd be like arguing with me. And then he'd be like, well, like I'm going to take you home. And I'd be like, no, you're not. Like I'm going to get a ride with somebody. And then that's the first time the physical abuse started. He'd drag me by my throat, by my hair, by my arms. And he'd literally force me into his car. And then he would like slam the door and then he'd get in on my side so I couldn't get out the door. But okay. So that's red flag number one, ladies. If you're a teenager, if you're not a teenager, a man should never, ever put his hands on you. There is zero reason, men, to ever put your hands on a woman. I wish I would have known that. Because they weren't full punches in the face like my mom was getting. I was being dragged by my hair. I think I remember being like, you're being physically abusive. And he's like, I'm not punching you. And I want to say our fights would always end up with him pushing me, choking me, pulling my hair, spitting on my face, banging my head against the wall, against the car window. This sounds really bad. Like, holy, it was so normal to me back then. This is sad. Oh my God, this is really sad, you guys. Like, for you to say out loud what somebody's done to you, it makes you really feel like a fucking idiot. Like, what the hell? How did I not see this? So instead of keeping your secrets in, tell somebody. Because when you hear yourself saying this, you feel stupid. I'm literally like, oh my God, like this is really fucking toxic. He would literally spit in my face and grab the back of my hair and be like, I'm fucking taking you home, you stupid bitch. And boom, and like sit me in my car seat. And at some point I'd always submit because I didn't want to get punched in the face. But trust me, like it was a fight up until that point. So this continued. Throughout our relationship. And it was normal to me. A man putting his hands on me, it became normal. Him cursing at me became normal. Him calling me names became normal. I did not know that's a physically and emotionally abusive relationship. And then this is what I wanted to share, because something I have not ever shared is a lot of things are coming into me right now, like downloads, like things that are coming in. I got pregnant at 17, and to this day, he always says, that's the best decision I made to trap you. Wow. Can we talk about being any more narcissist of all narcissists? He knew, I want to say like the first year of release, from 16 to 17 years old, there was a time period where I was like, I'm not going to do this. Like, I'm not going to repeat what my mom's been through. And he'd always apologize. But let me tell you, this man could apologize. He would be at my school every single day sending roses. He'd be out front every day for lunch. Every day after school, he'd be standing right at the exit with flowers. And of course, everyone's like, oh my God, how sweet. And I'd just be like, you fucking manipulative little fucking motherfucker. Like, everyone here thinks you're this fucking sweet, loving, romantic person. But you're just fucking doing this because you spit on my face the other day and banged my head into your freaking Volkswagen window. And again, because I don't want to cause a scene, and there's security guards when you're leaving school. And if I was to argue, I wanted to be able to leave school for lunch. I didn't want the security guards to stop me. So I would follow him and go with him. And again, remember, I did not know how to say no to people. I was a people pleaser. I was not strong. I was not a powerful girl back then. Anytime there was any kind of confrontation, I'd always just submit to it so it wouldn't escalate. And these are red flags, ladies. These are all red flags. Hence, fast forward, I get pregnant. Obviously everyone knows Jasmine. I keep my daughter. We continue in a tumultuous, I don't know how to say that word, marriage. Now there's cheating going on his end. And now I end up leaving him at 5 months pregnant the minute I find out he cheats. I'd rather be alone in my pregnancy than be with a cheater. I just remember saying, I'm not going to be like my mom. Like, I'm not going to be like my mom. But I was like my mom. It's crazy. I was like, I'm not going to be weak like my mom. Hence, okay, so fast forward, like, this is the story, is that we had a wedding date set in September. It was September 24th. We had a wedding date set to go to Vegas with my family, and we were going to get married. Months leading up to that, like, everything in my body and my heart and my soul was like screaming, don't do it. Like, don't. Like, I got the most loudest visions and gut feelings and circumstances. In those next few months, God gave me 101 in my face reasons not to marry this man. Ladies, men, you will get 100 red flags when someone is not your person. I'm going to repeat that again. You will have 101 red flags personally sent from spirit, personally sent from your future self, and personally sent from your actual soulmate who's out there telling you, bitch, don't marry that motherfucker, and telling you, hey, honey, you better not marry that hoe. Whispering into your mind, body, and soul, this is wrong. It feels wrong. But that was my dream, to get married and have kids and have a happy family. Like, that's all I wanted, what I didn't have. I wanted what I did not have as a little girl. And I knew I'd be the perfect wife. I'd be the best mom ever. Like I was made for this. Like, this is who I am. So a few months leading up to the actual wedding date, it was horrible. Like, everything that could possibly go wrong and fight about happened between us. And literally the 2 nights before we were supposed to drive out, I kept saying, like, dear God, let me know if I'm supposed to marry him or not. This sounds so stupid right now. I was like, dear God, give me a sign that he's not the one. And that night, he was living with me, right? We were renting a room with my parents. And mind you, I'm 17. I've never had a job in my life. So he paid for all of our bills, our car, our rent, everything. Like he bought food, he did, was involved in illegal activities. So he made a very large amount of money. So he's, for the household we lived in with my parents, like he paid for the majority of everything. So everybody was grateful for him. So he was kind of like, everybody loved him. Two nights before we're supposed to get married, he goes MIA on me. Mind you, you're living with me. Goes MIA with me, does not answer his phone all night, and tries to come home at 10 o'clock a.m. the next morning without one phone call the whole day and night before. And anytime he's never answered his phone, and this is a narcissist. This is a person who loves to love bomb, like Mr. Codependent. Like he will talk to me like on speakerphone 10 hours out of the day if we weren't together. And that was rare if we weren't together. We literally spent 24/7 all day long, every day together. So for him to even go an hour without speaking to me was rare. And the times that he'd ever went like a whole evening not speaking to me was because he was with somebody else. And it had happened. I think we had there was two incidences before that with two other people. I already forgave him for cheating on me 2 other times before. So those are red flags. Somebody cheats on you. That's a red flag. Twice, another red flag. So the phone calls aren't coming in. I'm like, okay, I get this peace. Like I'm going to not marry him. Like this is I grabbed his stuff, like I packed his stuff, like he's out the fucking door. You got me fucked up. Like I'm not that bitch, and I'm not going to go up through this again. Again, here we go, moving under. So then I go, oh shit. Okay. So red flag, you guys. He comes home that morning. We're arguing. I'm like, I'm not going to marry you. Like, that's it. Like, I knew I'm not going to marry you. I'm not going to marry you. So we're arguing all day long. And the nighttime comes. And I can't remember, I still not speaking up. I still don't know how to speak up. I don't know how to ask for help. And, my dad is crazy. And my dad, he has guns. So the last thing I was ever going to do was reach out and scream for my dad to come help me. And then, my ex-husband's a crazy motherfucker. Like I didn't want to see anybody get shot. So that evening, right, he's still at the house with me and I'm telling him to leave. We're arguing quietly in my bedroom. And we're in there the whole time and I'm screaming like in my pillow and I'm crying. Like my eyes are swollen. I have mucus coming out of my mouth. And I'm like, you can't believe you cheated. Like you cheated. Like I can't do this anymore. Like, and he was like, I'm sorry. It won't happen. Like he's admitting to it and wants me to forgive him now for the 3rd time. And he will not leave until I say I'm going to marry him in the morning. And I'm like, I'm not going to fucking say yes. So the evening turned into an all-night water torture. I got water tortured and tortured until 7 o'clock the next morning. He made me sit in the corner of my bedroom and I wasn't allowed to sleep, eat, lay down, or anything until I said, yes, I'm going to marry you. And he kept getting water from the sink, filling up a water thing, and he kept throwing it in my face over and over and over again from 10 at night to 7 the next morning because I refused to marry him. And I was crying and I was sitting there in this pain, in this abuse. And I was literally like, how did I get here? Like, how did this happen to me? Like, you are the most evilest demon alive. Like, and I remember begging, like, please, I just want to go to sleep. And he'd be like, fuck you. Not until you fucking say you. And then he would tell me this. I love you so much. Why are you making me do this to you? And he kept getting my head and slamming it like on the walls And then he was just like, I fucking love you, pulling my hair, spitting in my face, getting water, throwing it in my face over and over. He's like, just say you're going to marry me. I'll stop this. This is how much I love you. I can't live without you. Don't you understand how much I love you? And I'm stubborn. I did not give in. I literally waited till the sun rose and I got he put me into the closet and then he threw me back outside, then threw me back in the closet, then put me back outside because he couldn't really see me in the closet and he would not let me sleep. And finally, 7 a.m. came. The sun was already up. My eyes were, I don't even think I could really open them. They were so swollen from crying. And mind you, like my parents are in the next room thinking we're going to get married. And I did not want to scream or cry out. I didn't have the balls to say help. I didn't love myself enough to trust that I just need to scream for my dad. And this will all end. Like how many times in your life did you not have the courage to speak up on something that was some injustice that was being wrong to you? To speak up and say, help, like somebody help me in this situation. I didn't know how to do that. Like my whole throat chakra speaking up was non-existent for me. I didn't know how to do that. Like I always look back and I'm just like, God, like I didn't have the tools. No one taught me how to speak up, how to be strong, how to be powerful, to tell me that I'm worth being saved. 7 o'clock in the morning came. I was so tired. I just wanted to sleep so bad. So I literally looked at him and said, okay, I'll marry you. He literally grabs me and is like, I love you. Oh my God. Come here, baby. He literally carries me onto the bed, changes my wet, soppy clothes, gets the blow dryer, dries my hair, and I'm like in a fetal position, still crying, puts my pajamas on, and he puts his arms around me, and we go to bed. We get a couple hours sleep. I wake up, eyes swollen, open the door. My mom's getting ready. My brother's coming running in, and I'm just like a dead zombie, like. Grab my suitcase. We get in the car, and the whole time in the car, I'm like this out the window. I didn't say one word. And my mom just kept looking at me, and I would just look at her. And I'm sure she knows that look in the eyes. She felt that. That was my mom. She didn't ask me, is everything okay? And we got there. I even walked down the aisle. I walked down the aisle crying my eyes out. Not because I was in love. Not because, oh my God, this is exactly what I dreamed of. But I was crying because I didn't have the fucking balls to speak up for myself. I did not want to be there. I was like a victim. Like I was kidnapped. And I look at it now, it's like I was physically kidnapped and forced to marry this person. I've never told that story. I actually forgot that story. Until maybe like 3 or 4 months ago, I woke up in my room and it was like 4 or 5 in the morning. And I looked at the corner of the room that just happened to be empty. And I was literally saw myself right there, like waterlogged, him screaming at me. Like I remember the crinkling of the water bottle. I forgot. That was normal to me. That was normal to me. I grew up with an abusive father that did that shit to my mom. My husband did that to me. It was normal. I didn't know that was not supposed to happen. I never got a fist in the face, so I assumed it's not an abusive relationship. The cursing, calling me names, mind blown. I can't even imagine today. Like no one, I've never in my life again to this day ever had a man curse at me. Ever. Or call me a bad name. Like I'm mind boggled by that. Like that's an abusive relationship, ladies. Men that curse at you, men that call you names, bitch, whore, slut, tramp. I don't know, like it's just mind boggling that there's men that exist on that frequency. Hour, okay. Okay, I'll make this short. Okay. So that vision just came to me recently. And I was like, I cried so hard. I cried so hard a few months ago. I cried because I felt so bad for the Deanne who was 18 years old and didn't have the tools, the self-esteem, or did not know better. Like, I want to go back there right now and like jump into that body and scream, "Dad, help!" and have him come in and kick his motherfucking ass. The Deanne today, I get to heal the little Deanne. When I was 5 years old and my dad used to punch my mom in the face and tell me, "Sit down, your mom's a bad mom. She needs to be punished." And me screaming, "Stop hitting my mom," and him being like, "She deserves this," and fist to her face, fist to her face. What? I talked to her today. And I tell her, "You're safe. Like it's gonna get better." Like I give her soul hugs and kisses. I have a photo that I keep on my desk, and it's of me as a little girl, exactly when I was 5 years old in preschool. And I talk to her all the time. Like she's my little best friend today. And Deanna at 16, 17, and 18 years old, at 18 years old when we got married, I speak to her to this day. And I let her know, "You're okay. Like everything gets better." Go ahead. Will you say something?
Oh, no, nothing. I think for another minute or two, then explain how you were able to get to the point where you're at now with him. And just in life and relationships.
Okay, so hence, fast forward, my story with him goes, we were off and on it for until I was 26, so 18, 19, 20, 20, for 8 years. We were married 8 years, and it was a crazy, crazy abusive relationship. He continued to cheat on me over and over again, and I continued to forgive him and work things out. And every time he cheated on me, it was always with a stripper. Always with the stripper. Every single one of them was a stripper. And mind you, I'm a born-again Christian. I'm a virgin. Mind you, he took my virginity. Well, he had my virginity. I'd never slept with another man. Never touched another man. I didn't smoke. I didn't drink. I didn't curse. I stood home. I cooked. I cleaned. I fucked his brains out. Like we had sex 3 times a day, every single day of our marriage when we were together. Every single day. That was normal for us. Like the passion between us was animalistic and it was insane. So at 21, he cheated on me again, and it was with another stripper. So I got angry and I went to the strip club with all the girls who were working at that he was cheating on me with. I walked in and I applied to be a stripper. So at 21 years old, that was the day I went into demon mode. Demon mode, like all hell breaking loose. You have no idea what you've done to me. I'm going to be your worst nightmare ever. And everything I ever did, every decision I made was to harm him in any capacity that I could. I'm going to fuck everyone you know. I'm going to fuck your best friend. I'm going to fuck up your car. Everything that's possible to be done, I did it. I was on a vengeance, and he was still begging me back. And we were on and off again till I was 26 years old. At 26 years old, let's say from the strip club, I had my first drink at the strip club. The night I started my job, I walked up to the bartender and I said, "It's my first day here. I don't drink. Like, make me a drink that's fruity." So I don't know what he made me, but I had a few drinks. I was feeling good. I got on stage and was like, "Woo, yeah." Made my own money, left, got my own apartment, got my own car. He no longer had any power over me. Fast forward, off and on again. I end up alcoholic. Okay, so this is what I want to discuss. I did not know how to deal with problems. I did not have any tools to process heartbreak, sadness, or anger. So alcohol worked really good. And the alcohol stopped working at some point. So then I started doing drugs. First, I started with ecstasy, K, GHB, and that even stopped working. And then I started smoking crystal meth. All of this is my story because I didn't want to feel heartbreak. My heart was broken, and I didn't have the balls to stop being off and on with this person. So I was in this circle of toxicity and pain, and I drank and I used because I was in so much fucking pain. I think it turned off. The whole thing's off? Okay. I was in so much pain. Alcohol and drugs was my only moments of not feeling it. I couldn't imagine having to deal with the heartbreak of this relationship. I wish someone would have told me, "Deanne, God has the one for you. The one exists. You are made from his rib, from his soul, the day you were born. The day I was born, I was made for a particular person, for the one that God chose for me." And I wish somebody would explain to me, this is a toxic, karmic relationship. A karmic relationship is someone that you're constantly in a circle of drama with. And now the age I'm at, and I look at everything from a perspective, a vision of, I have a calling, right? My calling was to come, touch, move, and inspire the world. My calling was to be a servant of God. And then he came into my life, right? When we're born, Satan assigns the chosen ones that he knows God chose specifically to come here because they have a divine purpose to change the world. He assigns like a league of demons to throw us off our path. Our entire life, we are attacked by these people. And that's literally how I look back at it now. Because if I would have left him the first time he ever laid hands on me and spit in my face and called me a whole bunch of names when we were in the parking lot at youth group, I would not have had to gone through a 12 year, it was 12 years of us together, a 12-year abusive relationship. God gave me the red flag the first time. the second time in that parking lot. Those red flags came my way. And then at my wedding, the day before my wedding, 2 days before my wedding, when he cheated on me for the third or fourth time, and the night of him torturing me and kidnapping me to marry him. These were all red flags. God's always going to give you red flags. Your future self is going to give you red flags. Your spirit team is going to give you red flags, but you're going to continue that cycle until you personally learn and grow. At 26, we had our last incident. I decided it's going to be our last try. And we were going to have another baby, and we had a baby boy. I was 6 months pregnant, and he cheated on me again with the same exact girl. And that was it. That was my, they always say, like, you're not finished with somebody till you're done. Like, no matter what anybody kind of tells you, you're really not done till you're done, until you've had, like, you hit rock bottom where someone just can't possibly rip your heart out anymore. I didn't even have a heart anymore. I was so numb to pain. And I remember telling him, well, I'm going to have an abortion. I'm not going to be a single mom. He tried to, like, guilt me into it. So I called him the day of the surgery. I called him from the abortion clinic, and I called him crying, and I said, I will keep the baby and we can work it out. But you need to call that girl and tell her you don't want to be with her. And he said, I'm not going to do that. That's silly. Just come home. And I think my tears just sopped up, and I just kind of was like, there was like this aha moment. And I just hung up the phone, terminated the pregnancy, and I illegally terminated the pregnancy with a doctor who was a friend, because you cannot have a pregnancy after 5 months. And I went home after that, and the next 3 days, I told my daughter that she knew I was pregnant. I had to tell her that, I lost the baby. I lied to her. And I was home for the next 2 weeks, just crying and crying. I moved, changed my phone number. I think it was a whole year, not even letting him know where I lived or my phone number. But he was allowed to see his daughter. He had to contact my mom, and then she would contact me. But I wanted nothing to do with him. First time ever. A whole year. I never saw him or talked to him. After that, at that moment and that minute that I made that phone call, it was just all done. It was all done. So from there now, I think that was I was 24 years old, I think, when that happened. Right? 25? No, 26. And then that pain, I went into, that's when I actually started the crystal meth. So after that, I just wanted to go get high. I didn't want to feel nothing. I didn't want to deal with anything. I just wanted to go get high. I didn't want to feel nothing. I go, please, I can't. I didn't even know if I was going to make it if I ever felt anything. Hence, fast forward. On a 3-day drinking binge and crack binge, I was in a blackout, woke up 3 days later in a hotel in Hollywood with some gangbanger who just got out of prison the night before. And I was thrown into a tub, the tub at the hotel room. And I was there drenching. I woke up to cold water all over me. I guess I had turned blue or went unconscious. I didn't remember any of it. And then from there, I got transported to the hospital. I ended up getting sober, you guys. Hence, okay, fast forward. How to get through a divorce, huh? I guess let's just wait. You know what? Maybe we're gonna call this how to identify if you're in an abusive relationship. Let's do that. We're gonna change the topic to how to identify if you are a victim of domestic violence. Because I haven't even got to the rest of like, how to heal. The healing's a whole, it's going to be a whole nother podcast. So this one is going to be how to identify you are in an abusive relationship. How not to keep it a secret. Identifying abuse, identifying a narcissist, identifying you only know abuse, identifying that you don't know how to speak up, identifying that you have no self-love for yourself, to know that you deserve better because you've never seen better. I hope this story can support you to look at your relationship. And the abuse only gets worse. How to identify an abusive relationship. There are hotlines that are available. You can go to, there's women groups you can go to, like 12-step support groups for women of domestic violence, where you get to share with other women what's going on in your life. What you don't want to do is hold all those secrets in. That's what causes the addictions, the vices, the abuse. Alcohol and drugs, they're just a Band-Aid. They're just a Band-Aid. That pain needs to be addressed. You need to face it, acknowledge it, see it. Say, hello, I see you. You're present. Feel it. We get to do trauma work. So I work now as a coach. I can definitely walk you through healing the trauma and the pain. Allowing it to flow out and through you so that it's no longer stored inside. I can coach you to have a voice, a beautiful voice that deserves to be heard. That you get to embody your most authentic, divine femininity again. To trust, to help you set these high as fuck standards and how someone's going to treat you. Setting boundaries, teaching you to say motherfucking no. My answer is no, my no is my no. That your word is solid. You can go to unleashyoursexy.com. Yeah, that's what it is. Go to unleashyoursexy.com. If you're ready for your rebirth, your old life, your new life is going to cost your old one. Your new life is going to cost your old one. If you are ready to get rid of that hole in your heart, that darkness, that emptiness, or that heartbreak, like you're just done, like you can't go another fucking minute with it. Yoo-hoo! I'm here. I'm here to walk side by side with you, to coach you through that, through it, transmute it. I'm I'm going to be there to transmute it with you. And I'm going to be there to celebrate you and your victories and your wins. You do not have to do this alone. I've been there. I've done it. On my Instagram, you could DM me if you want one-on-one mentorship. You could write one-on-one mentorship. If not, my program Rebirth is the link in my Instagram. If not, I think we're on YouTube right now, so the link is going to be down below. I love you. The secrets are what kills. Those little secrets are like poison to the soul. Your next level is calling you. The love of your life that God has called to be your other half is out there waiting for you, wondering where in the hell you're at. You deserve to heal for your lineage, for your future husband, your future wife, for your future babies. And if you're a man, a lot of y'all are stuck with some toxic ass women who were sent to distract you from the right one. The right one isn't going to come with confusion. It's not going to come with drama. It's not going to come with pain. It's not going to come with toxicity. That is not of God. The right one is going to be loving, safe. It's going to feel like home. It's going to feel like God wrapped you in the arms and said, here's your gift. That's how you know the difference, you guys. I love you. Give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you leave some comments down below. If you think this video will help anyone else out, forward it to them. Press share. Click the link. I love you guys. Until our next podcast.